fans, and welcome back to the Lubbock Christian Eagle Coaches Show. It's playoff time here in Texas for everybody. Now UIL all the way through TAPS, and Lubbock Christian will finally get to kick off their playoff season in 2022 as they got a bye in the first week last week, and they will face a good Central Texas team this week, but we'll get to that in just a second, Coach. Let's go back to the final week of the regular season. You had a chance to wrap up a district title. You get a big win at home on senior night here in Lubbock. Special moment. We got two different seniors in the end zone that haven't seen the end zone all year. It was a fun night and a culmination of what has been a really good season to this point, and you got to be really proud of what you saw from the boys.
I was. Again, like you said, a culmination of consistency. It was a great senior night, a lot of celebration. I think we got 6 of the 8 in the end zone. 6 of the 8, yeah. And that was great. We had a chance to get 7th, and we didn't execute very well, and so I apologize to that situation. But we tried our best. But it was a great environment. It was fun. The boys played hard. We talked to them all week, just really clear about the opportunity ahead of us, and that was, what average teams do right here is they're going to overlook an opponent. Yeah. They're going to come out flat. Maybe they still win, but they're not going to play their best, and they're not going to take a step. And that's not what we do here. What we do in a max out program is we are going to put one foot in front of the other. We're going to improve. We're going to hit. And so we did that in that week up. We were very physical. And I thought we were very physical in the game. We held them scoreless through 3 quarters. Our subs gave up a couple touchdowns late. They've been in some situations where they've held some scoreless leads, but we faltered a little bit there. And you know what? All in all, it just allowed us to reevaluate, hey, this is a really tough team with high expectations, and so we won a big game, and we were yet a little frustrated that we just didn't finish it well, but that's just a great kickoff for our underclassmen as far as what the expectations are for next year.
Well, and that's one of those deals too. We talk about it almost every week. It's not just the main guy, the seniors and the juniors who are usually your main starters on varsity. Now we do start some freshmen, the Hayes Hubics of the world, who are just good enough to be there. Mm-hmm. And you get those seniors, and after the game, I love this part, was the freshmen and the sophomores who haven't got a lot of playing time on the varsity level were coming to the coaches and getting coached up after the game. What did you see? What do I need to work on? Those are guys that won't play another snap probably this year. Mm-hmm. If that's a big time snap. So for those guys to come and do that after the game, that's the kind of culture we've been talking about all year. That's got to make you. It gave me chills watching that. Those guys caring enough after a game. Coach, I'm sorry, I went the wrong way on this play, and that's why they scored.
That's right.
Love that.
Yeah, there's a respect for getting to have a hand on that rope.
Yeah.
Getting to be a part of the team, and our seniors, our staff does a great job of being clear with communications of the expectations of what goes on in this locker room. But also those freshmen and those parents get a lot of credit for having a group of kids in that locker room that are responsible, take ownership. And so, as we prepare for the second season here of playoffs, those guys are still crucial. Their JV season has wrapped up. They've had a great year, but man, they are instrumental for us as we prepare for teams that we haven't seen before, offenses that we haven't seen, and to be able to have a great look in practice is such an advantage for us as we seek to make a run.
Yeah, and that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize, that don't know the game of football a whole lot, especially in the small school ranks. Scout teams are tough to find this time of the year because some of the kids have moved on to basketball. Most kids, if they're on a JV, they usually don't stick around that much, but our guys, they stick around regardless of whether they're going to get to play on a Friday night. They stick around. The scout team is a huge deal throughout the week because especially teams that you haven't been able to see all year, that you're not familiar with, for them to give you a good look at what they're going to throw out at you, that's huge for a team.
Yeah, and it's a great way for them to know and experience football. Yeah. But really, the truth is we want to honor those guys. Those are servant-hearted leaders. The freshmen and sophomores are serving the upperclassmen. And by doing that, they're representing Christ in terms of how they're doing it. This is my role. I want to max out in my role, and we love our underclassmen. And like I said, they're instrumental for us as we prepare for this second season.
And as we talk about the second season, that gets underway this week. Is the bye week last week in the first round. You win a district championship, you get a bye. It's usually you win a district championship, you get to host. This year you get a bye, which is both good and bad all at the same time. We talked about that last week if we won. But it was a good bye week. Felt like everybody got a good rest.
Yes.
Got to send the volleyball team off to the state tournament. That was nice.
Right.
And this week it was back down to business. And the Central Texas team presents a good challenge for Lubbock Christian this week. They've got a stout running game, really strong. They look really physical. What does Lubbock Christian do this week to get a win and go 1-0 and move on?
Yeah, it's as simple as when you play in playoffs and you win, you need to win the turnovers and you need to win the line of scrimmage, and those are the two areas. I've said to all our team for 4 months, and we've always preached this coming from Nebraska. The great teams and the greatest teams play in the worst weather.
Yeah.
And so it's supposed to be cold and windy on Friday night, and you know what? We wouldn't have it any other way because we think we're a great team, and that's the type of weather that you need to play in playoffs. Now, their rushing attack is probably going to thrive in that setup, and guess what? I love it, because we need to attack. We need to find a way to get him on the ground. We need to beat him with numbers and get hats to the football. And they are a fantastic, well-coached, disciplined team, and so it will be a great test for us.
And this is a team where Lubbock Christian has never faced the Central Texas team ever. There's no history between these two teams. In the playoffs, you do see these matchups quite a bit as you see teams that you've never seen before, especially us dropping back down a division where we haven't been in a while. Is that something, of course, these kids, they could care less about who the opponent is. It could be, Notre Dame or Nebraska, like we talk about every week. It's still going to be the same approach.
Right.
Our message never changes in games like that.
That's right. No, but it is fun. It's fun to have a blank slate.
Yeah.
It's a fun challenge for the coaching staff because there's no notes to pull out from seasons past. They don't know anything about us. We don't know anything about them. And so you get to start at ground zero. And it will be fun to see what we've prepared for on Friday opening drive, and then also the in-game challenges that we anticipate as we go through that game. But I think our kids are ready. They're locked into the scouting report again. It's a good team. They have our attention, and I like where we're at as a team. We'll see if that bye week, if we use that as an excuse to come out flat. I don't think we will, but I know that in the past that has been an issue for teams, and so we will be very clear with all the opportunities that we have. The weather, the bye week, a great opponent, sickness and injury are always a part. Do we want to let any of these things define us, or are we going to continue to be who we've always been? And I think we'll be proud of the result.
And that's really kind of, you talk about where these kids are going to be. The bye week, the first time, we get it after the non-district slate, going into the district slate, go to Riker, long bus ride, long 2 weeks of preparation for a game, and you played really well against Riker.
That's a great point.
That has to be something that your coaching staff looks back on. Maybe not saying it to the boys so much, filling their heads with something, but as a coaching staff, you feel pretty confident about how you did the first bye week.
Yeah, that's a great point. And again, then when it comes to the weather, and you go to the Temple game, we've been in this. And so you're right. We've been in these situations before. We like to point out all those things that could be brought up in the back of your mind, and you get that naysayer voice. We want to address those things on the front end. And I think we've been able to do that with some of our mindset talks that we have as a family and a team in the locker room. And I feel like our kids are locked in and ready to go.
I do too. And that game will be on Friday night, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. at McMurray University. I can't remember what their football stadium's called, but at McMurray University.
Warhawk Memorial.
Yeah, Warhawk Stadium in Abilene, Texas, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. We'll have it for you here on the Eagle Sports Network. And it should be a good one. And we're the home team.
We're the home team.
We're the home team. So if you're coming to Abilene, we'll be on the home side of the bleachers with the press box. Come get you a spot early, because I'm sure there will be a lot of blue and gold in the stadium tomorrow night at McMurray. Coach, good luck, safe travels, and let's go get them.
Thank you.
Go 1-0.
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles.